as the future of the past is clear, one in the end seems to imply that in the end it was emotions that got in the way of everything. Although I don't really know if that makes any sense, all in all I can't really complain so much about this chapter as much as I thought I would. Hello, it's the Angry Fan, the Nanatsu no Taizai chapter 271, with Meliodas and Bun being introduced to Wild, who wonders why he looks like Hawk. Turns out Hawk's real name is Mild, but he probably wouldn't remember that name because it was talked away a long time ago. So, uh, so as he um, as they confirm that there's someone looking like him, Wild has a cry not very unlike that of Hawk, confirming that yeah, seems like Wild and Mild, aka Hawk, is indeed related. So with that, they get to Wild's headquarters in a dark maelstrom where they can well eat some stuff. Although take although technically doesn't really uh, taste that good. So either way, Mild mentions that a long time ago his brother was taken away by the Demon King and sent off to another world. That was 8 million years ago. And since time passes differently in the Purgatory, meaning that Hawk woke up in Britannia 16 years ago, then for him that math adds up. So, and according to that, Meliodas actually had a pretty good idea on why Hawk was sent over here in the first place. Apparently, he may very well have just known that all along. We have been some suggesting that parrot and thing was Hawk's reincarnation, but apparently it wasn't as simple as that, so to speak. So it seems that the Demon King had all the animal companions of Meliodas become his eyes, so he could watch over Meliodas and make sure he wouldn't do anything crazy. So in the end, it turns out that they are not Hawk's reincarnations; they were just ordinary animals that I think actually, thanks to the power of the Demon King that possessed them a little bit, just died of natural causes. So when he took a pet from an animal from Purgatory, then then that will be a different story, because this actually explains on why Hawk, despite having such a low power level, is extremely resilient. Since he's not a real pig, he is just that, well, resilient. So Ban and Meliodas talks about who he is. Of course, they talk about everything, how scared he is, how much this Slav he is, how much he eats he is, and of course Mild cannot really handle that, because since Wild is a proud warrior, for him to hear that his little brother is a slob and a coward is actually pretty shock. Despite that shock, however, that he still acknowledges though that he is my flesh and blood brother, so he will always love him for that, which actually made Meliodas change his face to a little sorrow one. So as the flames disappear, they try to head towards the Demon King in hopes of finding the gate. Uh, and according to and the Demon King has been sealed away here for 3,000 years ago in real world's time. So how many billions of centuries have that been? No idea. And according to Wild has tried to challenge him 12,118 times, but has always lost. So with that, as he mentions the lullaby of Wild, suddenly Ban mentions the fact that Meliodas had a different face when he was talking about his brother, and when he Wild was talking about his brother. So Meliodas, for the first time in a very long while, actually comes clean with everything. He tells everyone that Selderis and Estarosa are his little brothers. Well, Estarosa being the middle one, even though he doesn't. Ban noticed that he doesn't look anything like him. And the strange thing is that Meliodas says it's not like he can help it. Effectively, maybe even confirming that uh, you know Estarosa's aging is not the fact that he's older than Selderis. No, he's aging is maybe because he was a defect, and that's why he aged, unlike Selderis and Meliodas. Either way, as a demon king, as a leader of the Ten Commandments, Estarosa described him as a cruel man. However, according to how Meliodas described it, he wasn't necessarily cruel. It's just that he thought the war was foolish, especially with the Goddess clan. However, as a leader of this demon clan, he spent this day fighting in night and battle, so it was like that. So, and Zeldoris always used to idolize him, and you can almost call him honest and sincere to a fault. And we actually see a scene where he hits Zeldoris for maybe his misdeeds. And this once again confirms what I once said, that the evil Meliodas was a bit of a bully to his brothers. So Meliodas couldn't comprehend why Zeldoris actually looked up to him, according to him at least. But it was around that time he met Elizabeth, and his entire world was turned around. The joy of having someone precious to him became very precious inside of him. So, and the reason why he couldn't understand Zeldoris, why he worked so desperately so hard and had that dedication, was because Zeldoris also had someone he loved. You all remember Griselda, the vampire. He loved her, and he swore to protect her. So, Zeldaris became a cruel and cold-hearted executioner in order to protect his beloved. While Meliodas swore to end the fruitless wars together with Elizabeth and betray the demon clan, all without knowing that impetus that caused the holy war. Because according to Estarosa, it was Meliodas' betrayal when he killed 2 commandments that tipped the scale in favor of the goddess clan. And actually, that had a lot more side effects than he actually did. And this is actually one other reason why Zeldaris despised Meliodas. This tipping in the scale and the betrayal of the Ten Commandments caused the vampire sect that didn't want to be the Demon King's subordinates to rebel. But as the rebellion ended in failure, they were ordered to be executed. And of course, who was to be their executor? Well, none other than Zeldaris, as we all saw in that previous one. And he was going to kill even his beloved Griselda. But as we all know, he didn't do that. He sealed them away. And Meliodas later killed her when she didn't want to live anymore. They killed the rest of the vampire clan. However, that mentally broke Zeldaris, and that turned him into a cruel man. Everything he worked for was because he idolized his brother. He wanted to become a cruel man so he could protect everyone and protect her. However, Meliodas' betrayal made him make the difficult choice of killing the vampire sect, but he couldn't do it. He just sealed them away. That emotionally broke Zeldaris, and that is the true reason why he hates Meliodas. And that is actually why Meliodas has actually blamed himself, calling him a foolish older brother, because he later on found out what he did was wrong. So everything was in doing that. As he begins to think about Estarosa, however, he suddenly feels like his memory of him is disappearing. As a demonic voice begins to talk, the voice mocks Meliodas, calling him effeminative, and it's girly, makes him sick, and he says his son has no need for existence or emotions. As he finally appears, it's the Demon King, just the same as he looked in the flashback, long beard, long horns, and very long indeed. The true wall that stands in the way for the return to the normal world is now beside him. But why is he limiting Estarosa? Well, it seems in the end, Estarosa was never the Demon King's favorite, and he was called a failure. And the Demon King really despised all of these kind of emotions. I wonder if this also means we're gonna see the Supreme Deity. These are abusive parents indeed. So in the end they appeared. The Demon King. Can Meliodas and Ban and Wild actually win? That's the problem, really. Can they? But he holds the gate. Next will be a little bit more action in a glorious battle, this next one. I have to say this was actually an improvement in some other chapters. Way more information, which I liked, and also some making sense. Even though it was telling it all, it still was sweet. What doesn't add up is the fact that Meliodas seemed to include that he actually did have emotions, even back then, as the leader. He was cruel, but he was actually only cruel because he thought that was the only way. Seems to contradict some things, but hey, I'm not the one to say that. So give me your thoughts if you have any.